What's happening? Today is the 20th of October. This is the 18th episode of season 2 of the Be Your Own Hero show. Hero is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. And it's my effort to help uplift and inspire the unhoused through not only clothing, but a few other things now. I'm your host. I'm sekouwrites. I'm a professional creative and the founder of the Hero Ministry, what is now known as the Hero Ministry. Quick disclaimer, I am not a certified personal trainer, nor am I a licensed financial advisor. So check what I say on your own, do your own homework, do your own research. But just know that I am sharing with you what has worked for me and in many cases what has not worked. All that said, shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me to be here and talk about my journey of becoming my own hero. So here's the website for New Thought Media Network. It's ntmedia.org. You can make a donation to the network. You can also check out some of the other programs on the network. Speaking of which, right after this at 10:15 is prayer time. And then, as you probably know, at 10:30, no, not today. No Sip with Rev Melissa today because today is Meditation with the Moon, which is tonight at 11 p.m. I'm glad I caught myself. So no Sip with Rev Melissa today until 11 p.m. tonight. All right, so I will see you there at 11 p.m. Okay, so all that said, let's do a quick commercial break and get into the show right after this. All right, so shout out to all the people watching live. Shout out to Nan. Shout out to Rev Mel's mom. Shout out to Gladys. Shout out to Tim. Appreciate it. Thanks for the cup of coffee, Tim. I appreciate that. So let's get into it. I do want to get back to money. I really do want to get back to money. There's a lot going on in my head. I've made a lot of notes. So let's see if we get to it today. There is something that I want to address, though, a few other thoughts. So my thoughts about escapism struck a nerve yesterday. I got some comments about that. So let me circle back to that. But before I do that, let's just do the Hero Ministry news really quick. Today is day 142 and day 40 of my charity run. 142 days of me running every single day, at least a mile a day since the first day of June. Wow. And also 40 days of me running a 5K every day for the past 40 days in a row. So excited about that. Just a reminder, I did reach the goals that I wanted to hit before Dream Leapers, which was this past weekend. So I am over 350 miles and I'm over $2,500. So we are rolling. We are making things happen. It's time to set a new deadline. The general goals are 500 miles run and $5,000 raised, but it's time to set a deadline because we're getting close to the end of the year. So I'm going to circle back on that. Okay. I think that's it for the Hero Ministry news for right now. And so as I was mentioning, I got some comments yesterday about what I said about escapism. And so this is what I want to say about that. When I began my journey of self-discovery, and it sounds so pleasant when I put it that way, right? It wasn't necessarily pleasant. I was in a lot of pain at the time, but I leaned into the pain, which I'll talk more about in a second. And when I began that journey, I was surprised by how much I didn't know, if that makes sense. Like, I felt like I was a fairly evolved human being, that I'd done a number of things that would make me more aware than the average bear, that rhymes, more aware than the average bear of my internal issues. But when I started studying, I was like, oh, there were so many things that were new to me. So just for example, this kind of takes me back to high school a little bit. Like, matter, is it matter? There's something that's always in motion. Like matter is now not at rest. It's always in motion, something like that. Anyway, as it applied to my studies of self-development, my beginning of my journey to become my own hero, one of the ways I saw that applied was in terms of relationships. And the phrase was, if your relationship is not improving, if your relationship is not actively improving, it is actively getting worse. Like there's no such thing as a rest state. It's either actively improving or it's actively getting worse. And as I've continued to read and continue to study, I've seen that principle applied in all the areas. And so apply that to yourself. Like you may feel like you're at rest, but if you're not actively getting better, see? So that was one of the things that really hit me hard. And then I saw that applied in terms of how you spend your time. Like, okay, so time is the one thing you can't get back. You can't get back. You can get, if you lose your money, you can get back your money. Lose your precious resources, diamonds, gold, whatever. You can get those things back. If you go bankrupt, you can build your wealth back up, but you can't get back time. And personally, I was wasting a lot of time in escapism, primarily binge watching. I felt like binge watching was created for me. That's how I felt, honestly. And if and when, and this happened often, I felt triggered by something out there in the world, I would binge watch something to unplug from the world and delve into this fantasy world. But that's time that I can't get back. And again, if I'm not actively getting better, then I'm actively getting worse because I am taking these blocks of time and giving them away to Netflix and Hulu and all the other streaming platforms instead of using that time for self-development, instead of using that time for things that will improve me. And so will make my tomorrow better than today because of the choice that I made today. So those are some concepts that really hit me hard and I had to really work with. And those things resulted in me gradually trying to peel back and peel away the levels of escapism because I saw that I was using escapism in a number of different ways. So if any of that resonates for you, feel free to examine. My invitation is to examine how you spend your time with that theory in mind, that if you're not actively making yourself better, then you're actively making yourself worse. For me, that makes it very scary. And it makes me much more focused and intentional about how I spend my time. Okay, so that said, there's something else that's been going on. As hopefully most of you know, I did a talk, let's call it a talk. I did a talk, a motivational speech about pain on Saturday for Dream Leapers as part of their virtual retreat. So this is just another sidebar to the fact that privacy is dead. Privacy is just dead. I did a speech on social media, on this platform that where we are right now. And all of a sudden, I've been getting all these pings about pain. Like YouTube is showing me stuff about pain. Facebook is showing me stuff about pain. All this pain stuff is coming towards me because my talk was about the fact that pain is the path. If you missed it, please check that out. Just go to Dream Leapers on YouTube and you can watch the whole thing. Anyway, I watched one of them. I watched several of them just to see what they were talking about. And one of them was a movie by starring Denzel Washington where he says to one of the bad guys that there's two types of pain. There's two types of pain. Pain that hurts and pain that alters. And I've been sitting with that since I saw it a couple of days ago, and I disagree. And again, it's just a movie, right? It's an action flick. So I disagree with the writing. In my experience, the pain that hurts can also alter, but it's not automatic. What's automatic is strength. If you have something happen to you that's painful, and all of us have, and all of us will, that is inescapable. So when you go through something that is painful, you automatically get some strength just by surviving it. You may not notice that you got some strength because it's not visible per se, but somewhere inside you, just by nature of the fact that you survived it, you get a little more strength. But you don't get transformed. If you want to get transformed, you have to lean into the pain, by which I mean don't avoid it, by which I mean don't engage in escapism. So my habit, and I'm sure the habit of everybody watching, is that when there's something painful, we retreat into different forms of escapism. I've listed some of mine: binge watching, comfort food, drinking. Those are the top three that come to mind, but there's plenty of them. So during that period of pain, I was intentionally trying not to lean on. I was trying not to lean on any of those crutches and just face the pain squarely. And that was very difficult, very difficult. But what I discovered in the process is that when you do that, you gain strength much more dramatically. Because you see the strength. Like it's not invisible, as in the case of just surviving the thing and just moving on. You see the strength because once you realize you're able to not only function, but excel while you're in pain, then you don't forget. You don't forget that you can be on fire, so to speak, and still function. And what I discovered also is that you can function 1,000 times more effectively than you function normally because the fact that you're on fire inoculates you from any of your usual small pains. So, for example, fear of failure, fear of trying, fear of embarrassment. These are all fears that most of us have at some level or another. But I found in the midst of pain, those things were irrelevant to me. Also, even just concern about what other people thought, that was also irrelevant to me. So I was able to accomplish so much. I listed some of my accomplishments during my talk on Saturday. And even I was like, wow, this is a lot of stuff. And I didn't even write everything down. And I'm telling you for sure, I was able to accomplish those things because I wasn't making room for my fears the way I typically would. Like, oh, I don't know if they're going to say yes, so maybe let me not ask. No, I'll just ask regardless. For example, I asked so many people for favors during that period. People I would never ask. I mean, sometimes perfect strangers, sometimes people I just met for the first time, sometimes legit celebrities. I asked them to do things. And what I discovered is that most often people say yes, first of all. Second of all, if they intend to say no, they don't say no, they just don't answer. So I found that to be acceptable. All right, so if I ask everybody, most of the people are going to say yes. The people that aren't interested in saying yes just won't respond to that, but they'll respond to everything else. And every once in a while, someone will say no. So a lot of what I was able to accomplish was because I was willing to be bolder than I would be normally. And I was willing to be bolder than I would be normally because I was in pain. And so the pain became a force field. And I talked about this a lot on Saturday, but the pain became a force field that protected me from my smaller pains and therefore enabled me to do more. So I hope that resonates with someone because I learned it the hard way and I just happened to pay attention. Actually, I didn't pay attention. It became clear to me what was happening at some point. And there's a pretty dramatic story there, again, that I told on Saturday. So go watch the replay. But it has to do with the hospital. And it helped me realize what I was doing and why I was doing it and how I could capitalize on it. So again, I hope that helps. Anyway, coming right up is prayer time. And then right after, and that's it. That's it. Other shows are coming up after that, but not Sit with Rev Melissa today. Next time you'll see Rev Melissa today is 11 p.m. tonight. So I hope to see you for Meditation with the Moon. And we are going to get back to money, I think, tomorrow, because I got a lot of things I want to talk about if nothing else pops up. All right. So until tomorrow, keep doing, be a hero, be your own hero. And remember that right now is better than perfect. Ashe, better.